Games are too long these days. And who has time to play all these games coming out?
I know for me, I barely have time to squeeze in one game in any given week. So what's the solution to all of this?
I like to pick some shorter indie games. Keeps it nice and simple without too much expectation.
So let's take a look at some of our favorite games we think you should play when you're short on time.
The first game on our list is Death's Door. According to How Long to Beat, this takes about 9 hours to play through, and this is a top-down style action-adventure hack-and-slash game.
And this game, I would say, is probably a little bit harder than I was expecting. It was a good thing that I had some Hollow Knight experience behind me because I needed that for the bosses in this game. Some of my favorite things about this game were the varied environments. It did have interesting characters. It did a really great blend of a dark atmosphere, but also with little bits of kind of quirkiness with the dialogue and even some cuteness with these little guys that you're supposed to go around and collect and have them follow you. But anytime that you actually do an attack, they will disband and you have to go gather them again. There's a lot of secrets, but kind of like those old school Zelda secrets that you instinctually know what you're supposed to do in order to find that like hidden room or that, hidden upgrade or something like that. So it just had this very seamless feeling with new aesthetics, I would say. The developer of this game had a darker, unique take on a Zelda-esque game. So our second game is Life is Strange. Takes about 14 hours to beat, but technically these are episodes, so you can take your time and each episode takes around 1 to 2 hours.
You can't just take a couple of hours each episode per night, and it makes it very digestible. You don't have to blaze through 14 hours, and that's kind of what they want you to do in these games. It's very narrative driven. You are exploring. It's a little bit slower in the beginning, of course, until you kind of get to the juicy bits, in a sense.
Exactly. And the only thing I would say about that is even though you can break it up into episodes, good luck doing that, because I actually think the story grabs you to a point to where you kind of do just want to keep going and keep playing to see what happens next, because this is such a great story.
I think it surprised a lot of people. It has an unexpected twist, and it's an incredibly memorable game. And I know for a lot of people when they first played this game I wouldn't say it's life-changing, but a lot of people changed their view on how a video game could tell a story as well, even if it wasn't hands-on the whole time. There's a lot of dialogue and there's a lot of consequences to what you're doing and what you're saying. So that's why I would recommend giving this one a go. And like I said, the original is still the best Life is Strange.
When a door closes, a window opens. Or something like that.
The next game we recommend is Dredge. This game takes around 9 hours to beat, and this is an unusual one. It's a fishing horror game.
Yeah, this game surprised me with how spooky they could make the atmosphere. It was just like a narrator telling the story, and the music, really. The music seemed to just know exactly when to just swell or get dramatic. And so it made just the tension level go up when you're just cruising in your boat on the open sea and you're kind of thinking nothing should be going on here, but you would be tense and you didn't know what was going to happen. And there's a lot of really cool random events that happen in this game that at first kind of spooked me or scared me a little bit, because I was like, what is happening? But then it got to a point to where I was like, ooh, I want to see more random events. What else can they make happen? Because it's a great storytelling game without really having a whole lot of story happening at all times. Because otherwise, yes, it's just a fishing horror game.
Anytime we are surprised by each other's game choices, it makes me want to try it out as well, because it's so convincing the way that you explain the game and what's so fascinating about it. So this is at the top of my list for playing next. And we bought some collector's editions, and we bought some physicals, and we probably own it digitally as well, I'm guessing. And it was on Game Pass, so yeah, there's no reason not to play this one.
And the next game on our list is Oxenfree. Takes around 5 hours to beat.
I think a lot of people are aware of this game, and I do believe there's even a sequel to this game. I wonder if it was like an Amazon Game Studios release. I haven't played that one. But the first Oxenfree, it's technically an adventure game, but it's got a lot of supernatural stuff going on, and it's got this eerie atmosphere throughout the whole game. You're essentially traveling with your friends to this deserted island. You kind of start out on a ferry, and a lot of dialogue goes on at the start there, and then you start exploring. But the unique part about this is you have dialogue choices that will affect further playthroughs. So the first playthrough, based on your choices and how you talk to your friends throughout, is going to change the second playthrough. It's going to be a little bit different, and you're going to get different interactions, different events that will happen. A little bit difficult to explain it. It is definitely an experience, and I recommend just going through it, absorbing that atmosphere, that environment, and just going with the flow. Just make choices and see what happens. It's very interesting game. That's all I can say. But I can't say too much without spoiling it, but I definitely recommend playing this game.
Right around here. And just tune the dial left or right until you start hearing some weirdness.
How will we know when it's...
Holy crap.
And the next cozy game on our list is Coffee Talk. And this game takes around 5 hours to beat. And like I said, it's a chill, cozy game.
It is. I mean, this is one that was great to play before bed, even. Because
It is a bedroom game in a sense, if you have a console in your bedroom.
Yeah, it's just so chill and relaxing. But the story is very interesting. And the fact that you get to control the story, or like the outcomes, or what you kind of see of these people's lives, it was what made me keep wanting to play this game. I mean, I think I played this game multiple times through, but that's kind of the great part about it. I got to see all the different outcomes, and you really get to know the characters as well. And there's even a challenge mode where you need to make the drinks that they're requesting for them based off of the descriptions of, I want something cool, I want something warm, and you're having to guess, does that mean cinnamon? Does that mean mint? What am I adding to this drink to make it the perfect drink for them? Along with, throughout the story, people have their favorite drinks, and they let you know what those drinks are.
So you have to sort of pay attention, not just skip through all the dialogue. You have to...
I would hope so.
Invest yourself in the dialogue too.
But I think that's a really great point, that this, to me, took visual novels to another level. And it just set that bar a little bit higher on what a visual novel could be. The next game is What Remains of Edith Finch. Takes around 2 hours to beat, so this one's a rather short one.
This is a very short one, but what an experience this is. I think this was hailed as one of the best indie games when it came out. That's the reason why I wanted to play it as well, as so many people talked about Game of the Year contender, and I was very surprised seeing it is a very short game, but this is essentially the family tree, the story of the most unfortunate family in history, I think. It's just
For real.
Every story goes, without too many spoilers, of course, every story seems to go sideways, or just someone has an accident or something. But we both played this one, and comes highly recommended from both of us, which is It's not always the case with games that are hyped a little bit and, spoken of very highly by everyone. But I can attest to that this is a very good game. It's obviously a very story-driven game. And you get to see the backstory of all these family members, and you kind of follow the family tree. You have to explore the house, which is ridiculously built at this point.
I think what amazed me about this game is how each of the stories felt like a mini game. Like you're almost learning different controls, but I mean, it's easy to learn. But I remember there was like one section where you're playing as an owl and you had to like kind of learn the controls of what you were supposed to do in that section. It was not just like a story narrative game where you're going through each of the story members. It didn't feel just like a walking sim, I guess. I was expecting a walking sim. But then the other part of it is more like these little mini games that you're playing to explore the story further.
Very fascinating, and it is a must play if you like indie games or games in general, I would say.
If you like a good story, play this game. It's interesting.
I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
And the next quirky little game on our list is Little Misfortune. And this game takes around 3 hours to beat.
This is definitely a quirky, dark adventure game. And although from the art style, maybe you wouldn't be able to tell. And even if I tell you it's dark, I still feel like you're going to be surprised at parts of the story that get really dark. I mean, there's even some kind of adult themes in this game that took me by surprise because you're playing this little girl called Little Misfortune.
Well, it's dealing with a tragic event, and also, like you said, it's covering up. It's sort of like if you cover up a story for your kids, but you don't want to tell them the truth. That's essentially what this is. Like you said, it's a very dark game, and all of this was kind of a very unexpected journey for being an adventure game.
Yeah.
It was, very dark, quirky, and funny at the same time, but also sad.
Yeah, it is sad because of the stuff that's being covered up. You're basically playing this game from the perspective of a little girl that just doesn't understand everything that's going on around her. And so it keeps it interesting. And you want to know what's going to happen next. I mean, you want to know what happens at the end of this game. You know it's going to have a twist. You can feel it the entire time. But it's still not quite what you think it is.
You won't be able to sprinkle some sparkles over this one. Although she tries. She definitely tries to put some sparkles on everything.
And keep spreading that sparkles all over the games because you get a special ending if you do.
Oh, please don't fall, don't fall. Damn it, it's all broken now.
That was a beautiful example of cause and effect.
Please don't tell on me.
Don't worry. You can trust me.
Okay, thank you. Maybe I could try to fix it. I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm a little lady, you know.
And the next game on our list is The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Takes around 4 hours to beat this one.
And this is, again, what you would consider another one of those first-person walking sims, and you are going to this place to investigate the disappearance of this young boy.
Is it kind of like a murder mystery?
Yeah, you can consider this sort of a murder mystery, but you don't know that when you're starting out, obviously. Anytime there's a disappearance, you can kind of consider it like a mystery, a thriller in a sense, but it's not a whole lot that happens as you're walking around. You get these flashbacks when you inspect something or when you get to a point where you can tie the story together. It gives you a flashback of what happened in that particular area. So that's essentially how you progress the story. And I don't know if this is a very well-known game. It's more or less a game you play one time. You do one playthrough of this game, and then you kind of see everything. But still very much worth playing, and I enjoyed it all the way through.
Interactive mystery novel.
Exactly.
Where's my mother? Why are you standing in the sleeper's way?
She had an accident, Travis.
put down the axe. An accident. I didn't want her to get hurt. Oh, so sick, you know? Since Ethan found that room.
And the next game is a short hike. And this game takes around 2 hours to beat.
That is right. However, I'm pretty sure I spent way longer on this one because I just think that the island itself was like so much fun to explore. And all the little residents that are living on this island or visiting this island had such great, funny dialogue that I was like, okay, you know, what do you have to say? And then they would have these little silly side quests, like go find me a shovel. And you're like, okay, what is he going to do with the shovel? I want to know what he does with the shovel, you know? And then also I'm like, can I have the shovel when I'm done with it? You know, like when I'm done helping this person. So, and actually not people. None of them are people. They're like little...
Animals, birds, yeah.
They're like birds and stuff, you know, all different types of creatures, frogs and stuff. But like, yeah, just really funny dialogue. Also, flying in this game is so much fun. Like, they nailed the flying, like, mechanic because it just felt good to fly around. I wanted to climb up the mountain and I wanted to fly down from the top of the mountain and just see what else I could find because you know there's going to be like little alcoves, little areas that you probably haven't been to. So they did a great job of just like spreading treasure chests in places. So, and really the whole thing of this game is get to the top of the mountain. And that's why 2 hours, sure, you know, you can do it in 2 hours, but you're probably going to take much longer. Next up is Firewatch. This game takes around 4 hours to beat, and it's another first-person walking sim, right?
I guess I'm the king of walking sims today, so I have had quite a few walking sims, but there's a reason for that. There was a time where the actual walking sims were just walking. You have something like Dear Esther, that was just essentially you're walking around. This one, though, you know, you were starting to feel around this time where they were starting to add a little bit more story to these walking sims, a little bit more things to interact with, and that's essentially what this game is. It's all about your relationship with the person on the other end of the walkie-talkie, which is Delilah in this one. And you play as Henry, where you just got this job in the wilderness. I think it's in Colorado as like a fire lookout. You obviously get assignments to go find different things, and you see like a forest fire, someone's having like a campfire and they're not supposed to. So this is your journey basically of getting into this job and getting acquainted with the area. And then, yeah, like I said, the dialogue between you and Delilah is really the key thing in this game. That's why everyone, I shouldn't say everyone, but that's why a lot of people like this game so much, is that dialogue and the interaction between the two.
Oh, God, it's a nightmare out there. Hello? Delilah?
Damn it.
Hello? Is anybody there?
Hi. Yeah.
So we hope this gives you some ideas of what to play when you're short on time.
Because who has time anymore to play video games? We're adults, we have responsibilities, and this gives you variety in your day, and pick and choose, do whatever, and then, you know, you can explain to your family why you play video games still.
I feel like at least we gave like a little bit of something for everyone here. So hopefully there's at least one game on this list that you're going to want to go get today, or maybe you already have it.
And you only have to beat it, not complete it.
That's right.
So until the next video,
bye!